I think it goes without saying that self-improvement YouTube has pretty much blown up over the past couple of years. We've seen the most extreme positions, the red pill, to all the way of the entrepreneurial journey side of self-improvement, and then of course to the more mental health aspect of self-improvement. But here is a problem that I run into, and this is something that I think about. If self-improvement YouTube has blown up, then why do we still see very few people self-improving? If we have all these self-improvement YouTubers who have hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of subscribers, how come we still see people facing the same problems? How come we have podcasts where we're still talking about the downfall of humanity?
I got all the time in the world, so for now I'm just chilling. Plus I know it's a beautiful feeling.
Well, as Sam Ovens would say, common sense is not common practice. Even before self-improvement YouTube took off, it was pretty common the stuff you needed to do in order to at least have, a good base in life. And okay, sure, maybe it wasn't as deep as, first thing in the morning you need to take a 30-minute walk, or don't eat these specific food and beverages because they're the most likely to kill your testosterone. Oh, what gives? The conclusion that I've come to all this is that we as humans don't necessarily do what we need to do, we do what feels good. Now, let me give a couple of examples, okay? Let's say you have someone who's in a toxic relationship. Let's say it's your best friend who's in a bad relationship. Now, of course, the immediate response that we all think of is telling them, get the hell out of that relationship. But as anyone who's had a friend that's been in a bad relationship, it's never this simple. If your buddy was to have a girlfriend who was constantly wanting to know where he was and constantly accusing him of cheating, I know that may sound a little specific, but you get the point I'm trying to make. We would all, as good friends, tell this person that they need to get out of that relationship. But what realistically happens most of the time is that your friend is scared of being alone, so they stick with that bad person because in general, they're going to be getting the benefits of that relationship. And the only way that he would ever be able to, or eventually break out of that cycle, is by eventually becoming self-aware and gaining that self-esteem that allows him to realize that in general he deserves someone who is going to treat him better than his current partner. Let's try another example. Like, let's say you have a family member who is obese, now a little bit overweight, or even more commonly, it starts affecting their mental health, and you can see that it's making them more sad. Because even though they're saddened by their appearance and they want to make a change in their life, they keep binging on Krispy Kreme and Little Caesars and Burger King. No, we're not going to take the asshole approach here of just saying they're a fat piece of shit and they need to get in better shape. That's not ever going to work. But when you do try to help them with their issues, they always seem combative. They tell you not to worry about them. And they talk about, how, oh, I'll be fine. And even though deep down they know they're not going to be, they don't have a feeling to change. So therefore, they're not going to. And they fall into a trap that a lot of people, even us, before we got into self-improvement, start to fall into, which is pitying ourselves. Not until that they actually take a look at their situation, they become self-aware, and eventually start to feel better because they're actually implementing change and tracking the progress over that change. And therefore, they start to reach a more happy version of themselves. What do these examples have in common? It's the ability to humble ourselves when it comes down to it. I really just don't like this whole fake positivity, everyone's perfect the way they are, you don't need to change sort of attitude that people keep adopting. Not to say we need to go in the other route of saying you're all shit, we need to be super hard on ourselves 100% of the time. Honestly, think about it. If a person is content with living in a bad situation, even when they hear advice that's going to improve their life, if they're already comfortable, why are they going to start making a change? Those people would rather be comfortable living badly than actually be somewhat uncomfortable and take the steps necessary in order to become better. And the sad thing is that for most people, they don't really seem to catch on to something they need to do until they're at least in the most worst possible scenario. Self-improvement starts with humbling yourself, and the only way you're going to be able to do better is to admit that you're in a bad position or at least not doing good right now. Let me be clear, this is not saying that you need to start ridiculing yourself, but you should look at the areas that you're not doing your best in or even failing in and say, okay, I am failing, so therefore, what are the steps and goals that I can start doing tomorrow that can get me where I want to be? So start with this question and slowly but surely start thinking of the solutions to solve these problems. Establish them in your mind. Then from there, the solutions should be pretty easy to follow. Do you want to lose weight? Start looking for dieting and workout plans. To learn about finances, take a course, a class, or go to a seminar about people who are way smarter about this than you are and listen to them when they speak. Do you want to feel better mentally? Well, start looking up small tips in order to feel better mentally, and at the same time consider counseling or therapy. It all takes the smallest steps in the right direction in order to achieve what you want. And you don't need to take these giant leaps of progress in order to feel like you're actually achieving something. Most of the time it's going to be from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, maybe jump back to step 2, but then to 3 to 4 till 5. It's never going to be step 1 all the way to like step 100. So always make sure to compare yourself to your past self. And that may be hard sometimes. It's something that I even struggle with. But doing the hard things is the only way you're going to be able to achieve success. And thank you for watching all the way through. If you like this video, make sure to scroll down right now, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to turn on notifications. Stay safe, stay smart, and start taking accountability today. Peace.
All the time in the world, so for now I'm just chilling. Cause I know it's a beautiful feeling. In a billion,